Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Rev-Up Slu 95.9 FM. That's The Healing Process, Thursdays, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Rev-Up Slu 95.9 FM. Let the healing process begin.
This is The Healing Process coming your way today, folks. When it comes to dealing with the challenges, the changes and crises of life, it is important to seek help early. Don't sit around sucking your thumb until that chassis is on the road. The earlier you seek help, the shorter and easier it will be because there will be less of a mess to deal with. Contrary to popular notion, counseling is not just for crazy people. It's for anyone who can benefit from an outside objective expert perspective to help them enjoy their little lives to the fullest. I am Dr. Phil.
And I'm Clarissa, greeting you this morning from beautiful St. Lucia. Whether it's good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be in your part of the world, of the globe, we welcome you to another episode of The Healing Process. We hope we can touch your life in a meaningful way. And to remind you of our goal, it's very simple: to equip you with the tools, the truth, and encouragement you need to live your life to the fullest.
Rightly so.
Nobody can live your life for you.
That's right.
You need to live your life for yourself. So we need to do the adjustments to enjoy that life.
And when others make statements about themselves, it is time for you to make a statement about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Now, we all have a story.
That's right.
It started at birth. And no matter which chapter you're at in your story, there's always time to rewrite some of those chapters that are not so pleasant. Maybe circumstances have caused you to become a weak-willed woman, but it's not the end of the road. We can rewrite this chapter. We can make some amendments.
Yes.
We can change certain things because we have life. Now, we spoke about a weak-willed woman last time, and a weak-willed person often knows what they want to do. They know what they want. They know what they want to do, but they're struggling to do it. Although, as we said earlier, both genders have the tendency to fall into this category of being weak-willed.
Of course.
We continue our focus on things that make a woman appear to be weak-willed.
And if the gentleman, if you missed your turn, we can always go back to this program another time. So don't be annoyed at us. We're dealing with the ladies right now. And perhaps if you missed a section of the program, you tune in late, you can always call us and ask us any question that you would like to know.
That's right.
Don't be afraid.
Well, let's just recap the results of the survey.
Yes.
Very briefly. What makes a woman appear to be weak-willed, especially to the opposite sex? She's always willing to compromise. Her appearance, meaning the way she carries herself, she lacks confidence. She does not maintain eye contact when speaking. She's confrontational and quarrelsome. She's always apologizing and crying. She constantly throws the past in his face. She does not follow through with what she says. She's overly focused on her emotions. She doesn't take care of herself, and she's overly sensitive. Now, Phil, I have a very interesting question for you.
But before you ask me your question, your hard question.
Not so hard.
In certain cultures, eye contact, staring into the eyes of another, especially the Japanese, it is not acceptable. It is considered to be bad manners. So we'd want to make sure that you understand the culture.
Yes, we'll deal with that later.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. So your question?
So are women born weak-willed?
Why not, Kina? Why didn't you ask him? You're asking me that hard question. The answer to that, Claire, is a no. Mm-hmm. And this is supported by the expert from Psychology Today, where they explain that willpower and emotional resilience are learnt behaviors. our emotions, we need to understand it's different. We have the ability, God-given ability, to get angry, to get upset, and like. But when it comes to the weakness in male or female, willpower and emotional resilience are learned behaviors. What's wrong with me this morning? Not fixed personality traits. And here's how a woman may develop weak will.
So are you telling us that we are not born weak-willed? So women, that's good news. We are not born like that.
Right, men too.
Right.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it is shaped by our life experiences. And we were we able to express our emotions, excuse my voice, and the influence of those we socialized with over time.
Yes.
Okay.
A woman can develop weak will through early conditioning, Claire, or simply put, how she was raised.
Yes. Remember our days?
Our days, my days, if my mom is speaking and you're there looking, you'll just see two fingers coming towards your eyes. And you'd get the message, I'm not speaking to you. And we wouldn't dare stay around when the adults are communicating. So being a girl meant you were to do as you were told. You have to comply. You have to agree. You have to be self-sacrificing. We as parents do that unconsciously sometimes. If a child speaks out, we immediately conclude that they are rude or disrespectful.
Yes.
And our children are very bright. Children, they navigate through the net. They have access to the computers. So the children are very much astute when it comes to modern technology. And some parents cannot relate to that. So they believe that the children would be rude if they ask certain questions. So again, you were praised for being nice or quiet.
That's so true. If a parent has probably 2 or 3 children, maybe one would be very quiet. And they would proudly say to their parents or somebody comes to visit, this one is a very nice one. She's always quiet.
You were very quiet.
I was.
When you were young. My sister, my eldest sister, very, very, very quiet, but she got herself in trouble before the one that was very robust, the one that was outgoing. She likes to be around the males. And she didn't get herself in as much trouble as my eldest sister, who was very, very quiet. So being quiet does not mean that person is in control, that person is assertive. We need to be very careful at that. So it can discourage assertiveness from a young age. If we encourage quietness, we make a comparison. Let's say we have an aggressive child or one who is shouting, running, playing, sanguine, and one who is probably melancholy, always sitting in the corner, probably reading, and we'd make a comparison. Why not be like your sister or like your brother? So this is the foundation for weak-willed women, or part of the foundation.
Okay, so we're going to speak about some practical examples of early conditioning that can weaken a woman's will. Maybe you can run us through it.
Number one, she was told, always obey without question. Could you imagine when we get now into the world on our own, always obey? You get into the work environment, always obey without question. Suppose the head of your department or the person in charge of your company, or the company rather, asked you to do something unscrupulous, and you suspect that this might get you into trouble, and you are conditioned not to ask any question.
That's dangerous.
An example of that, as a child, the weak-willed woman was expected to follow rules without explanation or discussion. Now, as an adult, she struggles to challenge authority or speak up when something feels wrong.
And she knows it feels wrong, but because of the way she was conditioned.
I think it was only yesterday, I believe, somebody said something felt wrong in the office and something was wrong. There was a snake. So
Yes.
sometimes when our conscience is troubling us, or we have this sixth sense in, especially women, they are blessed with this sixth sense, I guess, because of their God-given role to nurture the children, breastfeed the children, carry the children close to their breast. They have that sixth sense to protect. And sometimes it would send off the alarm bell, and it would be good to stay back. There is the wise Solomon saying, the prudent man or woman, prudent person, foreseeth the evil, and the naive passes by and is punished or gets into trouble. So again, the person and the snake, it was good that something felt not right and you were careful about just going into that room.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope Snakey was taken care of. All right. So number 3, she was discouraged from expressing emotions, Claire.
Mm.
You're quite aware of that?
Yes.
You have no right to be angry at your father, at your mother. But it's okay to say to your mom, Mom, I was upset when you came to the school and you shouted after me. I was upset. Well, in my time, if I said that,
Get more licks.
I wouldn't dare say that. But it is okay for the child
Yes.
to say that. Come and speak to me about it. Now, Claire and I, we raise children. We are not just here playing professionals. We're telling you things that worked for us. We had good days and dark days and good Sundays and black Mondays. But putting what we learned into practice helped tremendously. So we are sharing with you. So please hold your seats and take note and try your best, because life is passing by too quickly. You don't want to be a weak-willed woman all your life. This is no advantage to you as an individual, to your family, to your community, and to your society. You do not want to be a weak-willed woman attempting to get into the politics of the day. People will just trample all over you. You don't want that. So you need to work on that area. So please follow with us. And if you have any question at the end of the day, please ask. So, an example, if she cried or got angry, she'll be told to stop being dramatic. I'm sure you've heard that, Kina.
Many times.
All right. Or toughen up. As a result, she now suppresses her feelings and finds it hard to advocate for herself. Now, if she's in a relationship, just imagine she's friendly or with somebody or married to somebody who is aggressive, somebody who is passive aggressive. Her rights will be undermined, and she was used to keeping to herself or keeping her thoughts to herself. So imagine how the direction that this relationship will take. Number 4, she was raised to believe her role is to serve others. Claire's a female. If you find yourself in a position where it was just to serve me as a husband, how would you respond to that?
The thing is that if you're conditioned as a child, if you were told from a child that's what it should be, you find yourself doing it without even thinking, because you've already brainwashed yourself, that's the way I should be. But deep down you know it's not right. And sometimes you feel it's not right, but you're not able to pinpoint what exactly is going on in my mind. I'm doing it, yes, but I'm thinking otherwise. I'm thinking it's not right. So if you're having those thoughts, we want to let you know that you are correct. It's not right.
On the other hand, an assertive gentleman or male would not want that individual in his life. It's going to frustrate him. He would want somebody who would participate or support him in everyday life. But like this guy going to America, what's the name of this movie? Eddie Murphy, going to America, bark like a dog, jump like a cat, you jump in. This is very not in order.
Yes.
Some men may capitalize on that from a sexual perspective, but after a while, they may get frustrated with that.
They will. Unfortunately, she was taught that a good woman puts her family, her husband, or her community first. Now she feels guilty taking time for herself. It is like, I'm guilty now if I want to take care of myself, put myself first for once, and saying no to others' demands.
I'm afraid that being involved in the religious community, you find this rampant there where some women believe that they must put their family first, their husband first, the community first. But if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't know your role in the family, if you don't know your role in whatever religious organization you're involved with, you will lose part of your living. Life will pass you by. In order to serve others, you must be healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally. And I'm telling you that with all my heart. When people can take care of themselves, they are aware that they are just as important as the other person. This will call. I have something troubling my head today. I have a headache. This will cause healthy reciprocation. I am important, Claire. You are important.
We are both important.
Right. We are carrying the load together. Yes.
So we are saying these are some conditions that a young woman, remember we're speaking about a young woman, would go through to make her become. She would become a weak-willed woman as a result of these points that we are bringing out to you. And we said she was told to always obey without question. She was praised only for being quiet, polite, or good. And could you imagine, now she avoids conflict at all costs. She was discouraged from expressing emotions. She was raised to believe her role is to serve others. And number 5, she was never allowed to make her own choices.
And this is one of the greatest gifts that we have from God. Our
Choice.
The gift of choice. And to give that up, you're giving up a lot.
Yes, and even as children, as parents, we need to sometimes give them the opportunity to choose an outfit.
Yes.
We can give them 2 or 3, 1 or 2, and say, you choose which one.
But the color.
Which color you would like to wear today. So you're actually training them to be able to make choices on their own when you do that, in little ways like that. She was never allowed to make her own choices. Her parents made all the decisions. What to wear, who to be friends with, what to study. Don't ask for what to study. If your dad is a doctor, a medical doctor, or an engineer, he may want his child to follow in his footsteps. And the child may not even want to go to follow that career. And so the child is forced. So you tell the child, you need to study to become a medical practitioner, just like me, or an engineer, or a nurse, or something. But we don't give them the choice to choose exactly what they want to do.
Our children, they never wanted to get involved in counseling. They made that very clear. I don't want to do what my dad and my mom are doing. We didn't say much on that. My son wanted to be an engineer. He went for it. Our daughter, what she wanted to do at first?
I'm not quite sure. She wasn't quite sure.
Right, okay. But now she's a counselor. She has a master's in counseling, operating in the United States of America. And our son has his master's in health psychology, something like that. So there we go. And the children will observe how effective what you're participating in your profession and your impact. And sooner or later, they may work their way there for themselves. But it's all right for them to find their own way. and bury themselves in what they feel comfortable with.
So if you decide to make all the choices for your children, what will happen? They will feel anxious when they grow up as adults. When they have to make a decision, there'll be anxiety. They'll be indecisive when they are faced with choices because they wouldn't know which one to choose. They would look for somebody to be reliant on. Choose for me, tell me what to do.
You will be nurturing dependent people. You'll be raising.
Because they think they might get it wrong.
Yes.
Because you, as a parent, you never give them that opportunity to choose for themselves.
And you can start with the basic things. What color? What type? Even what brand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we go on to the fact that she was shamed for being assertive or ambitious. We touched on it a little earlier.
And Claire, most likely it's because of ignorance on the part of the parents as far as assertiveness is
Yes.
concerned. Because even adults, they mistake assertiveness for being rude. But it is standing up for what you believe, for your needs, your wants, without violating the rights of others, standing up for your rights. And again, I mentioned, Clay, it's very important that we get that. You have your right to choice. That's a great gift from the Lord. You have your right to be, to exist on the planet. 196,800,000 square miles of real estate. We just need 3 square feet to breathe, and people deserve that. They have the right to be. They have a right to ask for what they want, for what they need. They have the right to say yes. They have the right to say no. They have a right to learn from their mistakes. And we must inculcate that in the children as they're growing up, so they will not be ashamed for asking for what they want.
When the good book says train up a child in the way he should go, we're not speaking about discipline in terms of beating the child only. This is training your child.
That's right.
For the future. Right? Remember in the days when your neighbor would come and say to your mom or your dad, I saw your child doing XYZ. And they would not even ask you what happened. They would not ask your side of the story. It's just licks you get.
That's right.
I mean, that was wrong. At least you need to have the child tell their part of the story, and you can come to a conclusion after.
Once I got licks at school, there was a fight and I was passing. I'm innocent. I'm an adult now. And Mr. Weeks got the story that I was seen on the scene. And they called a set of boys down asking Mr. Harris, what is it all about? He told me, Mr. Weeks will tell you. When I got there, I heard the other boys screaming, licks passing. I looked by the Anglican church to escape. But what am I going to tell my mom? So I went there, and when I got in front of Mr. Weeks, I said, sir, I was not there. I was just passing. Boy, Ben and Claire, I got
something.
That cane on my butt. I couldn't sit properly for a week. But dare I tell my mom? That would just guarantee a few more. That's not right, folks. I survived. Later, I told Mr. Weeks about it. He said, well, that's for all the times you were guilty. How about that, Kina?
Now, these are just a few examples. We got licks for things we didn't do, and we didn't get licks for things we did. So it kind of balances off, right?
So, Claire, you're agreeing with Mr. Weeks, okay?
So
Balancing off? How?
well, you escaped when you did something and you were not caught. So when you got it for something you didn't do it, you know, it balances
So
off.
technically she agrees with him.
Yes. All right.
Yes. So, folks, we're saying that these early messages can stay with a woman or a man, but we're speaking about women this morning, for years. And what would happen? It quietly shapes how you would see yourself and how you move through the world. But the good news is, whatever happened in the past, or however your parents deal with you, we call it conditioning, it can be unlearned.
Yeah, because we wouldn't deal that way. We didn't deal that way with our children.
You don't have to stay like that as an adult.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay stuck in that position. now that you are aware, there is support out there. There is healing. You can rewrite these messages and reclaim your voice, because you didn't have a voice when you were growing up. You still have your voice. Hopefully you're not mute, but you still have your voice. So if that describes you, you don't have to remain there. There's still time to become that assertive woman by visiting a therapist if you can't.
Yes.
If you are someone who can do your research and help yourself overcome these conditioning traits that were instilled in you as a child, if you can do that, then bravo. But then if you can't, you need to see a therapist.
Ladies, you're listening to a woman who is passive.
I was.
And by that, we mean one who would give up their rights to choice, their rights to be, the right to say no, the right to ask what she wanted. And we saw a therapist, and she started learning to be assertive.
Yes, I wanted to become an assertive person, and I went all out. I didn't wait for the therapist, for the counselor. As a matter of fact, the counselor had to leave the island.
Yes.
And I decided I'm not going to get another counselor. And I started to do my own research, and I worked on it. So that was point number one. We spoke about the conditioning. Now, point number two, a woman can develop weak will because of cultural and societal expectations. Remember, you were speaking about the Japanese and so on.
Yes.
So now we can speak about the cultures.
So in many cultures, females are made to believe that speaking up or setting boundaries is unladylike or selfish. In some traditional societies, submission is wrongly interpreted as a woman's duty to obey without question. And our daughter-in-law was partly raised in that cultural setting. You can even see it now. She's a Christian, very cooperative. We would not permit any advantage being taken over that, and she has learned to be assertive in our society, so she can take care of herself. But in those cultures, in the Muslim community, the women are submissive. She must not be smart or strong enough to lead. This wrong idea makes it harder for women to get good education, important jobs, or leadership roles, although this is changing very quickly nowadays. In some faith-based communities, scriptures about submission are sometimes taken out of context, promoting male dominance rather than mutual love and sacrifice. But I must say, not all. In some faith-based communities, scriptures about submission are sometimes taken out of context. For example, wives are asked to submit themselves to their own husbands, but that's not the context within which it is written, as fit unto the Lord. So a woman should not submit herself if the husband is asking her to carry a kilogram of cocaine overseas. For him, this is illegal. So in male-dominated cultures, submission is used as a tool to control. People sometimes use the idea of submission as an excuse for emotional abuse, manipulation, or even violence against women. And I see no place for that in the life of the person who is following the principles of Jesus Christ. No. Women are often told that putting up with mistreatment is a good thing, but this can cause deep emotional damage over time. And Claire, we have a real life story. There was a certain individual I met with many years ago, and that individual, when I asked questions, she said, "My spouse doesn't love me." What had you to say that? My dad used to beat up on my mom, but when he was through, he would pass Iodex on her swollen face and lips. But my husband would beat up on me, and he would not even turn back to pass Iodex. A grown woman now. She's locked into this false notion of love.
That's what she was conditioned.
That's how she was conditioned. And I had to explain to her That's not love at all. But some of you listening to me right now, some of you women, you have the notion that unless your boyfriend slap you up or beat you up, he doesn't love you. This is nonsense. That's not love. What is happening here, Claire, is this as a child, this young woman in a family, she probably would be left out. She would observe that the others are given, or there's favoritism, and notice would be taken of her when she starts crying about something. So she now, in order to respond to romantic and sexual advances by the person in her life, she would want to feel that same way. So she'd provoke that individual. She'd provoke him until he probably would slap her. And then now he would feel sorry. Okay, I'm sorry I slapped you. And sex now would follow. You understand where these things are coming from? So if you're like that, if you have to be beaten to have your adrenaline flowing and respond romantically and sexually, that's unhealthy. You need help.
Mm-hmm. And it happens. It's a reality.
Very reality. I give you an example of this. So we can continue from there, Claire, but keep that in mind, ladies. A weak-willed woman would find herself in this category. And I explain, as a man, if you have to be beaten for your romantic and sexual desires to overflow, something is wrong with you.
Mm-hmm. This is a red flag.
Yes.
But women are often told that putting up, as you said, with mistreatment is a good thing. That's what they have been conditioned to think. But this can cause deep emotional damage over time. And we see that in the counseling room when persons come to us as counselors over the years. However, it is also true that an assertive woman can choose to submit to the male in her life if there is love, trust, understanding, or partnership in their relationship. And that in no way makes her weak. She's not forced to submit, but she chooses to, because she knows she's in a safe and loving environment where there is mutual respect for each other's needs and values. So we have some practical examples of how cultural and societal expectations weaken a woman's will.
If you tuned into the healing process a while ago, remember we have already dealt with the weak-willed man. We're addressing the weak-willed woman today. So if you have any questions about the weak-willed man, you can actually call Claire and I at 730-9009 later, and we'll be happy to address your concern. All right? Claire, let us continue.
We're looking at practical examples because we want to be real.
All right.
She's taught to always be nice. She avoids saying no, even when she's overwhelmed. Why? Because she's raised to please others. She's been raised to please others and not cause trouble. If you speak up, you might cause trouble, so it's better to just please the other party. Number 2, she's expected to put others first. For example, she sacrifices her own dreams to support her family, believing that her worth comes from serving, not leading.
Quite a number of women are lamenting. I mortgaged the family home, the home that I bought with my resources, to send my son, my daughter to college. They said when they come back, they'll work and they will repay me. Behold, the children, they got their education, they met a sweetheart overseas, and they're gone. And the bank is now in possession of the home. Not at our house. We gave you your tertiary education. Anything higher than that, the family home is not going to be invested in that, because if you hit your head out there, you have a place that you can get a shelter, which is so important. Take note, parents.
Yes, I hope we're listening, parents. And point number 3, she's told to stay quiet in public. Now we're speaking about this. We remember we're speaking about cultural and societal expectations.
So I believe I need a little clarification here. When the children have gotten secondary school education, if you can afford to give them tertiary, whatever you can afford to give them, But if it means that after secondary education or tertiary education, they want higher learning, let them go to work first. Let them
Definitely
get exposed to the work environment. And then save some money, show that you're willing to take on responsibility. I will help you. And then go ahead, but the family home remain there intact in case something goes wrong somewhere along the line.
Yes, so she's told to stay quiet in public. For example, in meetings or even social settings, she holds back her ideas because she was taught that good women don't speak too boldly. Wow. Imagine that. She's pressured to marry or have children by a certain age. That's what happened in some cultures. She enters a relationship she's unsure about or stays in one that's unhealthy because she's afraid of being judged for being single.
Yes.
It's a big deal for the women in the East and these places where these cultures are practiced if they're not married at a certain age.
But even here, our women are given jokes. You'll become an old hag, this thing will dry up, all kind of crap, and they fall for it. And they hasten into a relationship that makes their life more miserable than it was before.
Yes, so she's discouraged from pursuing leadership roles. For example, she's told that ambition is not feminine. So she settles for less than she's capable of, even when she has the skills to lead. A lot of women are revolting against that now.
Rightly so.
She's ashamed for expressing her sexuality or confidence. For example, she hides her body, her voice, or her style because she's afraid of being labeled as too much or inappropriate. Well, you know that by the way they dress in certain cultures.
Right. Some go overboard with that now, rebelling against what was said or done to them. They now go overboard. Nobody can tell me what to do, so they just, instead of hitting the center of the continuum, they just go on the other side. They overexpose themselves. They don't care.
So this woman is expected to endure hardship silently. Example, she stays in a toxic environment or a relationship at home, at work, or church because she's been taught that suffering quietly is noble. So you stay there, you take all the licks, you take all the abuse, but you just need to keep quiet.
Let me hear, Kina, how does that sound to you as a female? How does it resonate? This last point, Clemmy, there.
There's so many takeaways from what Claire just said, and we hear that so many times, and it hurts actually that we have to be walking around like that because we have no voice. And sometimes we feel unheard. It's like you crying and screaming out. And no matter how often you do it, no matter how many times you say, hey, I'm here, I'm trying to make this point, can you please listen to me? You're seen as a troublemaker. You're seen as you're stirring up something, and your voice just gets shut out. And we have nothing else to say, and we just keep going, just trying to make everyone around us feel better, and we put our feelings on the side, in the back burner. So it's hurtful.
You understand now when we have meetings why we give people a chance.
Yes.
No matter how they say it, just speak. We'll help you along.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. So there are women like that have been rescued from this kind of situation. And sometimes they ask, why me, Dr. Phil? Why not you? Come on. No matter what it is, we want your
Yes.
contribution. So get into an organization that will help you be yourself, help you be heard. You don't stay there. But when you're looking for a place, be careful. You need to do your research and don't find yourself in an organization now that will suppress you even further and take advantage of you. Because there are some looking for weak-willed women, especially if they are financially capable. And they have some that are financially capable, but they don't know how to manage their resources. Okay, so you need to be careful.
Remember, we're speaking about things that a woman can, the ways a woman can develop weak will. And we said first, she's conditioned or she was raised. And number two, we're speaking about the cultures. And our time is going, I see. Yes, we have 5 points. I'm not sure we'll be able to cover all. But let's go to point number 3. If she experiences trauma and abuse. When we speak about abuse, it may be any type of abuse. But it can deeply affect how she sees herself when she experiences any type of abuse and how she responds to others. And over time, this can make her feel powerless, unsure of herself, afraid to speak up. Like Kina was saying, she doesn't have a voice, even when something feels wrong. And of course, as human beings, no matter who you are, you always have that sense that something is wrong. You always know when it's wrong. You feel it's wrong, but sometimes you are unable to speak up. So we're speaking about emotional abuse. What does it look like for her? She's been constantly criticized or told she's too sensitive. Before she says something about the way she feels, she's dismissed. You're too sensitive. Having her feelings ignored or dismissed, saying to her, you're overreacting, or that didn't happen. And you know it happened, and somebody's saying to you, it didn't happen. Being manipulated into doing things she doesn't want to do. And remember, she's complying because she's weak-willed as a result of her upbringing, or somewhere along the line, something went wrong. Living with someone who controls her choices, isolates her, or makes her feel guilty for having needs. She has her needs. Why do you have to feel guilty for having needs? The other
Especially
person
your
has
basic
their needs
Yeah.
themselves. They don't feel guilty, but here you are feeling guilty because you have needs.
And if you know your temperament is associated with your needs. And the melancholy has a need to be alone at home, a homely person. They have a need to be alone. They have a need to appear competent and in control. So if you're somebody who is very aggressive, and you made a mistake, that person will fall on you, and the melancholy cannot handle that. They cannot handle embarrassment in public because they have that need. And so the sanguine have their needs. They need to be with people. They have a high need for love and affection, attention. They like speaking is the name of their game. So don't ask if you have a child. That's a sanguine. That person need to be involved with other children. And you want that child to always remain at home, suppress their feelings. You will be in trouble.
It will affect you in many ways.
Yes.
It will.
Claire,
First, we'll wrap up.
yes.
You will start doubting yourself. If someone keeps telling you you're wrong or worthless, you may just end up believing it. We're speaking about conditioning. You become afraid to say no. Why? To avoid conflict or punishment. You might disagree to things you don't want just to keep the peace. You lose confidence. After being hurt or controlled for so long, you may feel like your voice doesn't matter anymore. You give up. So you just go with the flow. You become overly compliant. You become a yes person. Saying yes to everything becomes a survival habit, even when it hurts you. So it's survival for you.
And
And
you're
that's
supposed to understand that you have your right to say no
Yes.
and to say yes without feeling guilty. Without feeling guilty. So folks, I think we should end here for today because we want to hear from you. If you have a question, don't forget.
But we didn't finish, so we may have to continue because this is very important. We want to empower our women out there and let them know that if what we're speaking about describes you, this is not where you should be. That chapter of your life needs to be rewritten, or you need to write a new chapter.
Yes.
So that you can be that assertive woman God made you to be. Not that passive woman like I used to be many years ago.
And probably what we can do in between this, we can probably look at assertiveness, because people hearing this, probably we can do that the next time around, Claire. So those that are passive aggressive, they can know where they are in their communication skills, and they can start doing some research on how to be assertive, because some persons still believe that being aggressive is being assertive, and that's a no-no. So, Kina, let's turn to the lines now. Don't forget, you can call us at 572979710 and 287-0971. Did I do well on that, Kina?
Oh, yes, you did, most definitely. Let us know what really resonated with you, or what your biggest takeaways were on today's show. And if you have a question as well, feel free to ask that question, and reminding you that the first 5 callers' names will go into our prize box at the end of the month for the draw, and one lucky listener will walk away with a $200 check just for participating. Because you're tuning in, we have our first caller already. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for calling. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kina. Good afternoon, Dr. Phil. Good afternoon, Claire.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for accepting my call.
You're welcome.
Dr. Phil, you said if a man has to fight or quarrel sometime to get his romance, the man has a problem?
If you have to quarrel to get your sexual or romantic needs satisfied, there is a problem.
Because, but on both sides,
Not necessarily on both sides. There is a problem somewhere.
Yeah, because I don't believe it's the man. If every time the man has to quarrel or whatever, and to get his romance, to me the problem more lies with the lady.
Well, we shouldn't just jump up and say that that needs discussion, because and you only have 1 minute because we wanted the callers. I will address that.
We're going to be dealing with male and
just let me just finish.
persons.
Because if the lady knows, just let me just finish. If the lady knows this is what the man needs to relax himself, why do you have to allow the man to get so?
Okay, we will have to address that
I'll give
question.
somebody else a try. Okay.
Yes,
We'll
when
address
we
that
dealing
question.
with male and female differences. Today we are dealing with the weak-willed women, and let us know what stood out for you from that, or question pertinent to that. But you have 1 minute, because we really want to get our 5 callers. The Christmas season is around the corner, and we want to have $500 to give away at the end of December. So get used to calling us.
I think when we deal with the male and female differences,
Yes.
We have another caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
I said good morning.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
It's okay.
Well, for me, growing up, I was always the one who anxious to be talking and asking questions.
Oh.
And my mom always used to tell me, Pela, what you remember the question, you know? Like for me, being an adult right now, it brought a tone on to me. It's not to say that I don't know what I want to say, but certain times I will just stay quiet and not say anything.
But you're doing very well right now, aren't you?
Yes,
No.
I am doing better now.
Yes, very well that is, because you do ask questions, you make contributions. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for
That's what got to me.
so you
Yes.
you rewriting this chapter of your life. Continue.
Yes, I am.
Continue.
I am.
Very nice. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for calling. The numbers you have to call 572-9710, that's the studio line, or 287-0971 WhatsApp. You could also send us a WhatsApp message as well, or a voice note that I'll be happy to play right here on the program. Let us know what really stood out for you on today's show, your biggest takeaway, or if you have a question for Dr. Phil or Clarissa, that's welcome as well. We have another caller. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling. Hello? Not hearing this person, not sure why. Okay, let's see. We have another caller coming in. 1 second. Let me close the program again to see what's happening. Sometimes that happens with the WhatsApp platform. Okay, there she is. Hi, hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Can you speak up, please? I'm not hearing you too clearly. We're not hearing you too clearly.
How is everyone doing?
Oh,
How
we're
is
doing
everyone
fine.
doing?
We're doing okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, growing up for me, I was always the quiet one. I am still the quiet one. So I need to learn how to rewrite my chapter by being able to say no without feeling guilty, and learning how to not say no because I don't want a conflict.
Okay, I'm happy that you called. The next time we will be dealing with assertiveness in between the weak-willed women, and we would like you to listen, and I'm sure you're going to get some help on how to say no. People are afraid to feel ashamed if they say no. They want to look like a good person at all times. So when they know that they cannot afford to give or that is wrong, they say yes when they mean no. So thanks for calling.
Thank you so much for calling. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I remember helping someone with that in that aspect. They were not able to say no. And when they finally were able to, they felt so relieved.
Yes.
And look, I can say no and not feel guilty.
Right.
We have somebody else on the line. Hi, good afternoon. You tried calling earlier.
Yes.
Hi.
I was actually just trying to message.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Dr. Phil and Clarissa, the most important thing that stood with me was emotional abuse.
Okay.
Because it's very easy, well, for me to know what physical abuse was because, it's easy. But the emotional abuse is such a difficult thing to, pinpoint.
Yes.
So that really stood with me, and I just wanted to also let you guys know, again, you guys are doing an amazing job, and I'm really enjoying the show.
We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. This is the impetus that we need to keep us going. Once we know that it is doing what it's supposed to do, we will make every effort to be here every Thursday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, then.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, and knowing your basic human rights. That's the first thing that we should learn, our basic human
Yes,
rights.
and we will go for that
And
point by point.
We all have those basic human rights. I have a right to say no to you, but
Yes.
you also have a right to say no to me.
But I hope the gentleman is listening. I would feel very uncomfortable. Claire, can I have sex? I would feel very uncomfortable with that. This is something that should be built, and we're supposed to know people's body language.
Well, that's why male and female differences
And
will be important.
That's
because
right.
a number of women do not know how the male body operates.
Yes.
They do not know that a man, sex is not just something they want, it's a need.
Yes.
It's a need. And when you went to the altar and said, I do, or if you partner up with somebody, that is something you have to know and keep in your mind that this is a need for the opposite sex.
Right.
But we do not want...
A civil status officer will not even marry you, look at you twice, if you cannot function in that department. This is illegal. So...
But this is complicated because
Yes.
men are not aware of menopause. A lot of men, a number of them, are not aware of that period of a woman's life called menopause.
I'm sorry I took you to that topic. We will not get calls because people will start listening there now. Yes, we need how many more?
Just one more.
One more?
Already.
Yes.
We do have people chiming in on the WhatsApp platform.
Yes.
Someone says, it is very difficult to pinpoint out emotional abuse. Physical abuse is easy to see, but emotional abuse is the hardest to live through. Not being allowed to have a voice, feeling like whatever you say doesn't matter. That's the part that hurts the most. Thank you, Dr. Phil and Clarissa. Keep up the great work. I really enjoy the show.
Okay, if you have the name, you have the name.
Yeah, I have the names there.
That person.
Yeah, I have her name down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
We have another individual who just, pretty much chimed in, and she says she's enjoying the program, and she's been told many times to just toughen up. Yeah.
But if you tell somebody, look, if you just look at me, Phil, toughen up. What do? Do I go to the gym? Why is it that
It just shuts you down when that's said. Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only solution.
But
Toughen up.
if you are an individual, I usually hear in the work environment you saying yes. Somebody asks you to do something that is unscrupulous, and you have your work to do, and when at the end of the month you get in your report, the person gets an A, and you get a C. At the end of the day, the person gets a promotion, and they're consistently asking you to help them, and you're doing it on your time. You're supposed to finish your project.
Yes.
And if I say to you, Kina, that individual is taking advantage over you, you need to toughen up, sweetheart. Learn to say no, because she is getting a progress report and with an A and a promotion at the end of the day. And where are you? Say no is okay, but not, Kina, you need to toughen up. What do? Go to the gym for my legs?
It needs further explanation.
It needs further explanation. I totally agree with that.
All right.
And so we want to let the women out there know that healing is possible.
Yes.
If you're going through emotional abuse, as a matter of fact, I had to touch one that is very near to my heart, sexual abuse. We didn't have the time, so we will have to go into that another time.
But you'll have to explain before you leave what you mean by near to your heart.
Dear to my heart, because
Dear to your heart?
I experienced it. So
I see.
I have first-hand experience, so I understand.
When you were a kid.
I mean, the topic is something that is why we have this ministry called Beacon of Hope to
I asked for
deal with the
clarification
abused.
because somebody just listening, that's near to my heart, dear to my heart. At your age.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah.
Yes, and these are things that can contribute. Emotional abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse. It can contribute to a woman having a weak will.
Yes.
But as we said, healing is possible. We support therapy and safe relationships. This woman can rebuild herself. She can rewrite her chapter. She can probably write a new one and learn to trust her voice again. She can learn to say yes. It can become a choice now, not a reflex action. She can say yes and no when she needs to. So there is help. It's not the end of the road for you. There is help. I'm telling you that because I am one who...
You're a survivor.
Yes, I'm a survivor, and look at me today. I never thought I would be able to be doing what I'm doing today. I was this passive person, always trying to be inconspicuous. Didn't want to be heard, didn't want to be seen. But God had other plans for me.
Well, your husband, when you ask me for something, if it is vague, Claire, what is it that you want? Usually she'll tell me, do you want to do that for me? Claire, just tell me what you want. So over the years, I helped her build herself to be strong. Ask for what you want. Let me say no. Let me say yes. And with this, if you have a spouse that have gone through this, they need your help because it will be a long journey and you need to be patient. I don't want her to ask me, can you do that for me? Can you just tell me the sink is leaking? I would like it fixed. If I can't fix it myself, I will get somebody to fix it. So for over the years, I helped her build that confidence in herself. And now, sometimes if I'm not careful, she's trying to mother me. But that would not work.
And it doesn't matter how old you are.
Yes.
Help is available. I remember some time ago, I had to speak to a group of persons, and in that group was a lady. She was almost 80, and she
Wow.
broke down, and I spoke with her, and she had been abused as a child, and she had never dealt with it.
Wow.
And there she was at almost 80. That's when she got help.
Ladies, you don't want
that to
Kina,
be you.
you don't want that to be 80
Oh,
years.
no, most definitely not.
No teeth. And you coming to see me, Dr. Phil. I was abused when I was...
Yeah. That's way.
And she was holding bitterness and hatred and anger. She had
It
anger
means
and so on.
the life was not enjoyed. Just imagine that. Ou pas ça, même manger un petit mango. Ou ka changer ça qui te rive. Ou ni pour point que ça, ou ni pour mettre ça en note. Ça c'est tout quoi là les autres aujourd'hui parce qu'il nous tout qualité moun ga tanzano gadia. This is all I'm going to say today, folks. It was so nice being with you. Thank you for your calls. It's very important to Claire and I. We want to help people in our country, people in the world. Some of you do not have access to somebody you can sit with. There are quite a few programs on this radio station, not only this one, I listen to, and it's quite some help to our people. But the healing process is focused on giving you that platform where you can learn to take care of your challenging mental issues, abuse past, sexual abuse past, rape. And if you find yourself in that category recently, Claire and I will counsel you without charging you. If you cannot afford to see a professional counselor, recently abused, recently raped, you can call us at 730-9009. Outside of that, you pay for counseling. But if it comes to abuse, Claire will sit with you. We'll help you bring that to a closure. If it's rape, whether you want to speak to Claire, female, male, because males are raped also, I will sit and speak with you. You will not have to pay. I don't think we should put that type of burden on persons experiencing or going through such an experience. Okay, Kina, what stood out for you?
So many things stood out for me on today's show, Dr. Phil, because I see the impact in my own choices, especially now, and I've always been told, and I know that I can rewrite my story, but still there are different things that conditioned me to be who I am today. I generally don't like people yelling. The moment I see somebody who's very, very aggressive and they shouting and they're yelling, I take a back step and I shut down. So this program really enlightened me to be like, you could still speak up. You could still be assertive and say, you know what? I really don't feel comfortable in the way that you try to bring that message across to me and so on. So that
I would like to listen to you.
I like to listen to you.
If you continue, I will leave your presence.
Yes.
You will leave me? You will leave me? That's what I said.
Yeah.
If you continue in that vein, I will leave your presence.
Yeah.
Now, we would want to say hello to somebody special.
Sure.
Yes, of course. Good morning. Good afternoon, sorry, to Laurie. I know that you're resting, and I pray that you get better very soon.
Yes.
And Mr. Compton in the U.S. and Mr. Joseph, good morning to you.
And Lauren, don't let the shirts trouble you. Take your time, okay? We love you. Bye-bye. Okay, folks, that's it for today. Until next week, Thursday, same time, same place. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Phil and Clarissa. This has been The Healing Process right here on Rev-Up St. Lucia 95.9 FM.
Have you noticed behavioral changes in self and loved ones that trouble you? You're losing your mind, but it just wouldn't go away. Well, join Dr. Phil, clinical counselor, and his beloved Clarissa, counseling psychologist, on The Healing Process every Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia 95.9 FM. That's The Healing Process, Thursdays, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia 95.9 FM. Let the healing process begin.
Every day, St. Lucian women give